Hi, welcome to our own crash course style video. Today we will be talking about the pharaohs of Egypt. The pharaohs were the political and religious rulers of the Egyptian world. They had many different responsibilities to their subjects. Responsibilities of a pharaoh: maintain Maat, protect the borders of Egypt, lead religious ceremonies, build monuments to honor achievements, and make sure the gods are pleased. Once a pharaoh was thought to not uphold the responsibilities as well, or if they passed away. The next heir, usually a son, would take over and become the new leader. There were over 170 pharaohs in all. So we're just going to focus on 8 of the more influential of the bunch. Let's start with the pharaoh Khufu. Khufu ruled from 2598 to 2566 BCE. According to Herodotus, he closed the temples, forbade his subjects to offer sacrifices, and compelled them without exception to labor upon his works. But Khufu is most famous for building the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Next came Khafra, son of Khufu. He was the first pharaoh to be called the son of Ra, the sun god. He built the second pyramid of the pyramids of Giza with the Sphinx. The next influential pharaoh came a while later in the 18th dynasty. Amenhotep ruled from 1525 to 1504 BCE. He wasn't as well known, but he spent a lot of his reign rebuilding the old temples. He was also known for maintaining firm control over the Nile River Delta and Nubia. A few pharaohs later, Hatshepsut came to power, and she was a female. She was one of the most successful pharaohs of them all and was the longest reigning female in Egypt. Thutmose III was a pharaoh after Hatshepsut and happened to be her stepson. He was well known as a brave warrior king and led the Egyptians to victory in the Battle of Megiddo. The next pharaoh on the list is a famous one. His name is Tutankhamun. He didn't do much, but he was well known for his tomb in the Valley of the Kings. But let's move back to the real important pharaohs now. In 1379 BCE, a pharaoh by the name of Akhenaten came to power and changed the previous religious beliefs. He decided to combine the many gods into one god named Aten, whose symbol was a sun disk. He built many temples worshipping them. Our last ruler was a famous one, but more influential than King Tut was. Her name is Cleopatra, sometimes known as the daughter of the Nile. She was a smart and powerful woman and the last of the Macedonian dynasty. This is what Mark Antony, one of her husbands, said about her. A pleasure merely to hear the sound of her voice, with which, like an instrument of many strings, she could pass from one language to another. Mark Antony. But that's our last pharaoh. Thanks for watching Crash Course Egyptian Pharaohs.
Created using Powtoon.